Welcome back. Well, with the roof done, it was time to get on and start the walls. Before that, I did tidy up outside the workshop a little bit because I wanted to make a space for my dog. And you can see this little kennel here. I actually made this a few years ago, and I've just had my trike stored in there. So if you're interested in this build, I'll put a link at the end of the video and you can have a look at it. I haven't started it for a couple of years, so I do need to give it a clean up and get it running again. But for now, it's good that I can finally start moving stuff into this workshop. Now, I've mentioned in earlier videos, I want the outside of this workshop to have that classical sort of modern look, and I'm going to do this hopefully by just using a mix of different timbers and corrugated iron as well. So I'll start off by making a basic frame for my meter board, and I'm going to stain this to make it look a little bit old school. So I'll put this frame together, and what I'm going to do is clad the internal walls eventually with like a patina corrugated iron. So I'll start off by just seeing if I can get the actual meter box to fit properly, and then get the wires ready so I can finally hook up power. So I stained these. I tried a few different stains, but in the end I was quite happy with this one, where it's treated pine, and I've used like a walnut colour and then some sealer. And once it dries, it actually looks pretty good and a little bit more old school. And I did want to do something that was fairly easy because I have so much to do. And my plan is I want to stain all window frames in this timber sort of look, as well as door frames, and I'm going to have some barn doors as well once I get a little bit further down the track. So this is the sealer, 2 coats of sealer, and this should last a long time, but we'll see. Now this is the window frame I made up after it's stained. I think it's come up quite good, and all I need to do is install the actual glazing, which I'll do a bit later. But yeah, some different textures there, different colours. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I think it looks quite good. So I just installed this meter board now after it's stained, bolt it in, and then I just get it prepared for the final connection. And you know, the cables are pretty huge, and the reason for that is it's nearly 150 meter run from my main meter board, so because of voltage drop, you do need quite large cables, and you know, as I said, it's 3 phase, and it's about 63 amp supply, so it's going to work quite well. Now here's the window frame going in. It's a nice fit in between those 2 girts. I bolt that in, and once that was in, I get a start on the soffits. So the soffits, I searched high and low, had different ideas, and I wanted some sort of timber look, and I've landed on this, which is a product made in Australia called WeatherTex. It's made of recycled hardwood, and it's just adhered together. And I'm going to give it a go. I haven't seen anybody use it as a soffit, but it was a type of look I was after, so I've decided to give it a go. So I just put the barge panels up on the power room to finish that off, and then I cut this WeatherTex and make it a nice neat fit under there. And I did find some countersunk screws that were pretty much the same color, so once they were in, you literally couldn't see the screw head, so it's turned out really good. Again, let me know what you think. I think it's gives it that old school look. It was quite a good product to work with, so it literally was hardwood. What is hardwood, but yeah, quite nice to work with. And I just worked my way around. You can start to see it here, and you can see the window frame, a similar colour, so it's worked out quite well. And that was what I was after. I do want eaves, you know, with that overhang, and I wanted the soffit to look a bit old school. Now you can see I made some custom trims as well, and this one at the top there is for my corrugated iron to slip up into, and I made a trim for the bottom for the corrugated iron to sit on top of, and hopefully this will help vermin and weatherproof this as well, and make it look a bit neater. So I cut the corner, put just a couple of screws in the trims just to hold them, and then once I got that far, like the roof, I'm using a metalline product to create a thermal break, and then a bit later I will also insulate the inside, because in South Australia it does get very hot in the summer and quite cold in the winter, so there's no point going all this effort and just ending up with an oven in the summer and a fridge in the winter. So I want to be comfortable. Now here's some extra trims I had custom made. All of these I had custom made, and this is one I've designed for the window, and it seemed to go together pretty easy. This is the first window, and you know it's always a bit of messing about when you do it for the first time. So the corners ended up fitting together well, and then with the metalline under the top trim or flashing, I put the metalline underneath that, so I need any water or condensation to flow downwards and not get caught behind panels. So the metalline goes under the panel at the top and then over the flashing at the bottom. And then once I got that far, I just cut the corrugated iron sheets to fit, push them up into the top trim, and then I left a little bit of a gap on the bottom trim just so that there was a small space for water to drain out. Cutting them was pretty easy. I just purchased these nibblers and that did a pretty good job, and I just worked my way around, and compared to the roof this was way easier, and you know I did most of this myself with a bit of help from my wife. So there's the last little piece going in, and that's this power room pretty much done. You can see the contrast with the timber there. I've started some cabling already for the solar system, which I'll go through in the next video. 3-phase hooked up with just some basic power and lighting, so things are really starting to come together. And here's a look at the bottom trim, and the corner trims I'll do a bit later, and there's the soffit. Really happy with that. So with this first room done, I just need to keep working my way around this workshop until I've trimmed it up all exactly with this style look. In the next video I'll go through the solar install, and that'll be the roof completely finished. See you next time.